Hello guys, welcome back to the content channel. Firstly, I want to start off by saying a big thank you to those who have been supporting the channel so far, and please don't forget, if you haven't already, go and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all my latest videos. Also, I'd urge you to go and follow me on Twitter. I'll put a link down below so you can see what videos I've got lined up in the future and other plans surrounding the channel. But without further ado, let's get into this latest Prince Andrew story. So, from a story in the Telegraph from just the other day, it states there's finally been contact between lawyers in the US and those representing Prince Andrew. This comes following weeks of Prince Andrew hiding away from the media and shying away from any form of communication with law enforcement. But this story indicates that there has been some communication between the two parties. A spokesman for Jeffrey Berman, the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, who is leading the inquiry into historic sex trafficking by convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein, has confirmed that there has been communication between both legal teams. The spokesman for Mr. Berman has told The Telegraph there have been communications through his attorneys, but we have been informed that he is not willing to submit to an interview. So, when I first read this, I did have some very slight optimism that, this case might finally be moving forward. However, it seems that, as always, this case isn't going anywhere. To be honest, I'm not really surprised by this. I mean, it's a complete contradiction of what Andrew said in his statement following that awful BBC interview, but I think most of us expected this really. So my thoughts surrounding this are simply that if he feels so under threat that he has to make these legal moves, such as we saw the other week, getting a top-notch extradition lawyer and refusing to interview in a case which is this serious, then there must be some level of guilt on his side. I truly believe that those who are innocent would be more than willing to cooperate in an investigation which is focused on getting justice for the victims of sexual abuse. With Andrew now refusing to do this interview and lawyering up, it just makes it seem as though he is hiding a lot more than we know so far. So, carrying on with this story then, it continues saying last week Mr. Berman, whose reappointment depends on the outcome of the US presidential election in November, doubled down, claiming the Duke had completely shut the door on the investigation. Contrary to Prince Andrew's very public offer to cooperate with our investigation into Epstein's co-conspirators, an offer that was conveyed via press release, Prince Andrew has now completely shut the door on voluntary cooperation, and our office is now considering its options, he said. I mean, this statement from Andrew's side just added validity to what the US attorneys are saying here, and no wonder. The BBC interview was bad enough. That was with the BBC, who normally bias in the royals' favour. God knows how you do when under oath, being questioned thoroughly by a legal team who really done the homework. I think the cracks would definitely start to show then. But, of course, that day is probably never going to come. As we saw last week with Prince Andrew, he now has a solid legal team around him, who I'm sure will be able to get him out of any legal responsibilities in this case. Really though, if this was anyone else and not a royal, then they would be absolutely screwed. But because Andrew is clearly such an upstanding member of the royal family, then the law just doesn't apply to him. Although there doesn't seem to be much movement so far, I really hope that the pressure stays on Andrew and that the media keep up with these stories surrounding this case. I'm sure Andrew thought it would all go away in a few weeks, but now, as we can see, that's definitely not going to happen. So, in my next video, I'm going to be taking a closer look at those surrounding Prince Andrew, such as Ghislaine Maxwell, who has been known as a prominent figure in this case, and the other stories surrounding the case. I'm also considering doing a video on the rest of the Maxwell family and their involvement with the intelligence services, just to build a bigger picture on their history and their sort of involvement with the intelligence services. If you do have any ideas for other videos I could do on my channel, please comment down below and let me know. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy this kind of content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Cheers, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.